Assalamu alaikum, Your Holiness, Your Excellencies, dignitaries, and of course the whole Ahmadiyya family in the UK and across the world. Greetings from the Republic of Tanzania, where unfortunately I've had prior engagements that prohibited me from being with you tonight. The first thing I want to say is I've missed the symposium over the last few years. I've missed it because it's one of the few spaces across the UK and in Europe where the true spirit, values, and essence of Pan Africanism is shared freely. It's one of the few spaces that gives us time to reflect and reassert our commitment to Africa and what it means to be part of the human family and be responsible to each other simply by virtue of our existence. Many of you will be familiar with the South African philosophy of Ubuntu, which simply means I am because you are. It's essentially a philosophy of equity and justice. It's a philosophy that means your life and value is no greater than mine. And when we understand that, it compels us to protect each other's life as if it was our own. And personally, I think the Peace Symposium embodies that in such a beautiful and remarkable way. Now, of course, our theme, economic equity, is fundamental to making that a material reality. And when we look at the conditions in parts of our world, especially living conditions, we have to ask the question of what types of philosophies, systems, and governments are producing the inequalities we see around us. These questions are fundamentally at the heart of the work I do at the School of Pan-African Thought, an independent education and research institute that's dedicated to teaching in the field of African and Pan-African studies. This is because at the intersection of all these notions is one key factor: knowledge. Our goal is to produce students that understand these political and social dimensions in the African context. And we hope that those students go on to be leaders and advocate for independence and development, just in the way that PAAMA have done for several years now. Lastly, Brother Tommy, I want to thank and commend you and your team, not just for the hard work of convening such a critical space, but for the incredible humanitarian efforts you make to alleviate suffering at every opportunity. The impact PAAMA and Ahmadiyya have had around the world is simply extraordinary. And let me tell you something. In academic circles, Pan-Africanism is often charged and dismissed as theoretical without pragmatism. It's faith with no works and therefore is dead. But your faith is very much alive and a shining example of Pan-Africanism in practice and what we can achieve with unity and vision. So as we say in Kiswahili, Asante Sana, I salute you, peace and blessings, love for all, hatred for none.